Hello and welcome to pmclounge.com. In this video, we will answer the question, should you go for an MBA or PMP? This is a question that I often get. And I personally feel that comparing MBA and PMP is actually incorrect. I myself have an MBA. I myself have a PMP too. So I can sort of look at both, and I tend to think that both cannot be compared. MBA is a college degree. You need to spend anywhere between 1 to 3 years in a college or a university. You need to spend time there full time. You cannot be working while pursuing MBA. Obviously, you can do online courses or part time and whatnot. Everything is available. But then PMP is much less of a commitment. It does not require you years of work. It does not require you to go to any college, and you just have to pass an exam and get a professional certification. So I think comparing the two is actually incorrect. But at the same time, I wanted to talk about where you as a person are in your career, and that is going to give you a solution, that is going to give you an answer of whether you should go for an MBA or you should go for a PMP. And I will give you my take on this, so definitely stick around. But before we go there, I just wanted to give you an anecdotal story of how MBA as a degree was born, right? So imagine a 19th century factory, a bustling factory with hundreds of workers. And there was one worker whose name is, let's say, Brian. Brian was the best worker in that factory. His work was flawless. The factory owners, they notice this. They know Brian is their best worker, and they ask Brian to train others. And they not just ask Brian to train others, but they also want Brian to lead others. So Brian should stop working but create a team of, let's say, 10 more Brians, and that is going to increase the factory output, right? You just have one worker right now doing his best job. If he becomes a manager and gets a team of 10 more Brians like him, the factory output is obviously going to increase. So that is something that the owners propose to Brian. But Brian does not know how to manage people. He is a good worker, but he cannot manage team. He cannot optimize the workflow, right? He cannot look at the bigger picture, the whole system. And that's something that the factory owners understand. So factory owners send Brian to get him an MBA. So Brian gets his MBA. He learns how to lead a team, how to motivate a team, how to optimize the whole workflow. He comes back and he becomes a great manager because he was a great doer. And that is something that a lot of people miss. MBA is not your golden ticket to a management position, right? It is not a replacement of work experience. It is supposed to enhance your work experience. Now, of course, in today's age, you have certain positions in certain organizations that are basically kept aside for those who are MBAs and do not have any work experience. So you can have your bachelor's degree and you can go for an MBA, but don't think that you will become a manager right after MBA. You will not have a team to lead, right? You require actual work experience. The wisdom that you get from actual work experience cannot be replaced by a degree. This is something which is applicable even to the PMP. Now, if you're someone who's right out of college with a graduate degree, you cannot actually go for PMP because PMP requires you to have 3 years of project management experience. Mark my words, project management experience. Now, a lot of people tend to fake this project management experience, and what happens is they do not get results like Brian did because they never had any project management experience. They just faked the experience. They went for the PMP. They got their PMP certification. But when it comes to job interviews, when it comes to performing on the actual jobs, they don't know how to manage projects, right? They have never gotten their hands dirty by managing actual projects. So that is the reason why I would say if you want to go for MBA, you can go for an MBA right out of college. That's fine. But if you want to go for PMP, get yourselves some project management experience before you go there. Now, I will let you know what to do if you want to get into project management. You don't have the 3 years of work experience. How do you get into project management? I will suggest everything. Let me share my screen and talk about MBA and PMP for a second, right? So the scope of MBA is broad understanding of all business areas, right? So you learn operations, you learn human resources, you learn marketing, you learn sales, you learn a lot of other things when you're doing an MBA. But PMP is specialized expertise. You are only learning about project management. Obviously, there's more to project management than just the word project management. You learn waterfall, you learn agile. Within agile, you have so many different ways of delivering agile projects, right? So you learn all of that as well when you're doing project management. But the scope is not as vast as MBA, because MBA is dealing with a lot of different verticals. Now, MBA is best for someone who is aspiring to be a C-suite executive, who is aspiring to become a general manager in his or her organization. But if you want to stay in the project or the program management or even the portfolio management area, then you should get yourselves the PMP certification. Duration, this is something that I've mentioned. This requires full-time or part-time study for 1 to 3 years. But PMP is only a few months of focused preparation. In fact, over here at PMC Lounge, we say 50 days is all it takes. In fact, we have a free PMP study plan. Head over to pmclounge.com/PMP study plan. The link will be in the description as well. And you can get yourselves a free study plan to pass your PMP exam in 50 days. It is absolutely free. Everything that you need to know or need to study for your PMP is also available on this YouTube channel itself. It is also absolutely free. Check out our courses section and you will find everything that you need there. All right, so let's talk about the cost. MBA, the cost is very high. It often exceeds $100,000. But if you compare that with PMP, it is typically low in comparison. There's prerequisites for MBA as well as PMP. You require a bachelor's degree. Then there are entrance exams. For PMP, if you have a bachelor degree, then you need 3 years of work experience. If you don't have that, then you need 5 years of work experience. And this is not just any work experience. You need project management experience. Remember that. Now, the industry view is MBA is seen as a prestigious degree for high-level business roles, while PMP is seen as the global standard, the gold standard for project management competence, right? So industry views both of these very positively, whether you have an MBA or you have a PMP. In fact, if you ask me, I would say, why go for MBA or PMP? Try to go for both. But that also depends on where you are in your career, at what stage you are in your career, right? So my question to you, do you have any work experience? Let's say you don't have any work experience. MBA without work experience is something that I just told you about, right? Don't expect to get yourselves into high level management positions if you're just an MBA and have no work experience. You will get into entry level management positions like a management trainee, a junior consultant, right? And if you get yourselves an MBA and get into project management, you could end up in PMO, right? A project management officer, a junior project manager, or a project associate, something like that, right? So that's something that you will start with if you go for MBA without any work experience. But if you have any work experience and then you do your MBA, this is a recipe for the next Brian, right? From our story. So if you want to become as good as Brian, you have the work experience, you have done the work, you want to lead a team in your current position, right? So if you work in operations, or let's say if you work in sales and marketing and you want to go ahead in sales and marketing, you already have the experience, you get yourselves an MBA in sales and marketing, and you can aim for a higher position, with the caveat that you have already done the work, you already have the work experience. Now, CAPM is something that you can go for if you do not have any work experience and want to get into project management. So as I said earlier, PMP is something that you can go for if you have 3 years of project management experience. Now, you may have 3 years of work experience, not specifically into project management, then you should go for CAPM. It is an entry level project management certification. It is also offered by the same body that offers PMP, that is the PMI, Project Management Institute. So go for CAPM and then try to get yourselves into the project management job role. So once you get there, once you have the experience, you can go for PMP after that. But if you already have work experience in project management, then I would say go for PMP. But the other thing that I can think of, and that's something that I had mentioned earlier, is don't think of MBA and PMP with an or in between, right? Think about an and in between. So think about getting yourselves the PMP as well as MBA if required. So if you are someone who's just starting his or her career and you want to get yourselves into project management, then go for CAPM certification. Get a job in project management, right? Work your way through, get yourselves 3 years of project management experience, and then go for PMP. Beyond that, if you think that you want to get into higher level positions, right? And it may or may not be within the PMO, within the project management office, or within the portfolio management office, whatever that is applicable to your organization, then you can think about getting yourselves the MBA as well. So this is the path that you can take. The other path that you can take, which is something that I took, was that I did my MBA right after my engineering. So I was already an MBA. I got myself a project management role, and then I went for PMP because I completed the experience required in project management, and then I directly went for PMP. So that is again a path that you can take. So my take is always think about MBA and PMP rather than MBA or PMP. Of course, you will have to go for one of the two first. You cannot go for both of them together unless you're feeling adventurous. I definitely do not recommend that. But depending on where you are in your career, you can take a call of whether you should go for MBA, whether you should go for PMP, or whether you should go for CAPM. I hope I was able to clarify what are the steps that you should take. And if you have any other questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I'll definitely get back to you. I would like to pitch in our YouTube membership program here. It is called VIP Pass. A lot of our subscribers are already our members as well. So you can hit the join button. You get a lot of perks, a lot of bang for your buck. Definitely give it a try. And that's all that I had in this video. If you have any questions, definitely drop them in the comments. I will get back to you. Keep learning, check out our other videos, and definitely consider subscribing for more such project management related content. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.